Most people think working harder and saving money will make them rich. But that mindset is keeping you broke and completely burnt out. Picture this. It's Sunday night. You don't get paid until Friday, and your balance is $5. But your credit card bill's due tomorrow. The fridge is totally empty. You've only got enough gas to maybe get to work, and that's if you don't hit traffic.
So you use your credit card to get by for the week, buying gas, bulk toilet paper, and off-brand laundry detergent. Because hey, you're getting those rewards points and you're saving per unit, right? Now it's Friday. Finally, payday. You make sure to dutifully add $100 to your savings account, and then you pay your credit card and all the other bills now due. And then you realize you've got no money left for gas or groceries again next week. Not again. What's even worse is the very moment any emergency happens, say a medical emergency or the car breaks down, well, that's it. Even your savings are gone. And it can make you feel like a total failure. But this isn't just some budgeting fail. It's the result of your brain hijacked by scarcity. I'm Victoria, and today on Wired for Facts, we're uncovering how scarcity, whether it's time, money, or mental energy, rewires your brain, warps your decisions, and traps even the smartest people in cycles of short-term survival. By the end of this episode, you'll have a science-backed strategy to reclaim clarity, focus, and control. When researchers talk about scarcity, they don't just mean not having money. Scarcity is the feeling of not having enough of anything you need: money, time, social connection, even sleep. And here's the kicker. Scarcity doesn't just change what you focus on, it changes how your brain functions. Harvard economist Senthil Mullainathan and Princeton psychologist Eldar Shafir studied this extensively. Their research shows that when people experience scarcity, it's like the brain goes into emergency mode, kind of like your phone dropping to 10% battery. Background apps shut down, power saving kicks in. Your attention gets tunneled into the urgent, and long-term thinking, gone. They tested this using sugarcane farmers in India, farmers who get paid once a year after harvest. After harvest, they're financially comfortable. Before harvest, deeply stressed. Here's the shocking part. When those same individuals were tested before and after harvest, their IQ scores dropped by as much as 10 points when money was tight. That's the equivalent of losing a night of sleep just from the pressure of financial stress. Why? Because scarcity consumes cognitive bandwidth, your brain's mental RAM. When your mental system is overloaded with, how do I pay this bill, or how do I make it to next week, planning, impulse control, and problem solving all get downgraded. This is what psychologists call tunneling. The narrowing of focus so tightly around the immediate threat that everything else disappears. And this isn't just about money. Time scarcity creates the same effect. In one study, people who felt time poor were more likely to skip long-term goals, act impulsively, and feel constantly overwhelmed, even if their schedules weren't objectively worse. Sleep deprivation is another form of scarcity. Miss enough rest and your brain becomes reactive. It craves sugar, avoids effort, and can't think abstractly. You tunnel in on survival, not growth, which can lead to weight gain, depression, and other issues. Social scarcity works the same way. Lonely people become hyper-attuned to social threat. They fixate on rejection cues. Their brains literally become wired to detect risk, not connection. So building new relationships becomes harder, not easier. A mom skipping meals to keep her kids fed. A student working 3 jobs while failing exams. An entrepreneur spinning in anxiety over rent while missing an investor call. These aren't personal failings. They're side effects of scarcity's mental trap. And brain scans prove it. Under scarcity, the amygdala, the fear center in your brain, lights up. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain used for decision-making, self-regulation, and long-term planning, goes dark, like a light switch has been flipped off. Here's the paradox. Scarcity feels productive.
Constant worry feels like effort, but it's just mental exhaustion in disguise. It's like driving with the emergency brake on. You're moving, but you're burning out everything under the hood. So, how do you break out of this ugly cycle? It would not be a Wired for Facts episode without ways to use the science to improve your life. So, here's your scarcity escape plan. Real tools you can use starting today. First, create cognitive slack. This means giving your brain just a little room to breathe. Saving money is a great thing when paired with a growth mindset, so yes, have an emergency fund, just don't rely on saving money to make you wealthy. To address mental exhaustion and anxiety, give yourself a 15-minute morning buffer to settle in and sip your coffee before diving into work emails. To help with time, have some easy, simple, and healthy meals handy to grab when you have an extra busy day. These are small moves, but they open up bandwidth and reduce panic. Second, use the zoom out technique. When you feel anxiety and stress about life coming on, take a moment to simply breathe. Take a slow, deep breath, and then ask yourself, what are the positive aspects of my day so far? And/or, what makes me feel happy? Then ask yourself, what is my goal? What is the next step I can take towards that goal? This disrupts the anxiety buildup and reactivates your planning mind. You can even set a phone reminder to ask yourself this question 3 times a day if you are prone to anxiety making you freeze up. It takes 10 seconds, but it rewires everything.
Third, build if-then triggers. This is behavioral science gold. If I feel overwhelmed, then I will write down my 3 top priorities and ignore the rest for 1 hour. This gives your brain a preloaded script to follow under pressure. The physical act of writing your thoughts down can also help to relax an overstimulated mind.
Fourth, create scarcity-free zones. These are sacred spaces in your routine where survival mode is not allowed. Sunday afternoons, no paying bills or doing chores. Strategy Tuesdays, no extra assignments allowed. Evenings after work, no checking work email after you go home for the day. These zones protect your thinking space and make you more productive. And finally, start a gratitude habit. I know it sounds cliche to many people, but it works. Gratitude activates parts of your brain associated with optimism and long-term focus. Each week, write down 3 things going right, even during the inevitable chaos of life. This rewires your brain to recognize the positive aspects of your life, not just the challenges.
Here's how you'll know it's working. You'll start solving problems more calmly. You'll catch yourself before reacting impulsively. And you'll notice opportunities where before you only saw dead ends. But heads up, your brain will resist. Scarcity mode feels like control. So let me ask you, what's your scarcity trigger? Is it money, time, emotional energy? Drop a comment and let me know, because once you name it, you can change it. Here's your key takeaways. Scarcity doesn't just mean having less, it means thinking less clearly. But the moment you recognize your mind is getting hijacked, you can take the wheel back. So make sure to review and use the techniques we discussed. And next week, we're going 1 layer deeper. We'll talk about the science of psychological capital, how building inner strengths like hope, resilience, and optimism can actually predict your financial and career success better than your education or income. It's powerful stuff, and as always, you'll get practical steps to build that capital.
If this episode was helpful, please hit that like button and follow Wired for Facts. I drop new science-backed strategies every week that help you work with your brain instead of against it. Until next time, I'm Victoria, and remember this, you're not broken. You're just human, and we all struggle with life. But now, you've got the science to thrive, and there is more to come. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.